Okay, and we are live. Welcome. Let me just log in. Into my machine. And we should be good to start. Today we're gonna keep on going with the angstromCTF edition, but this time we're gonna go for 2020 because I want to do some web challenges, and the 2019 edition doesn't have any web challenge still up. They are all down, so let me see what just happened there. So let's see. No, let me just obfuscate sake. Let me just, if I can remember the password, I think I can. Okay, here we go. Let's start. The first challenges are always quite easy, but remember, this is only to teach people the basics. So let's just, yeah. Let's check here. Also, I'm just gonna launch burp because we'll need that. And okay, I don't care, and set the proxy to burp. Okay, so let's have a look. What is the first challenge? Okay, there's nothing here. Let me just also double check that. Okay. Because this is a new install. Oh man, for real? What keyboard am I using? Oh, the wrong keyboard, clearly. CA certificate. Let's save it. This was a fresh install of Kali, so I need to install the certificate. So authorities import should be around in downloads. Trust this website. Yep. And now that should be fixed. Yep. So, okay, give flag. Let's have a look at what burp is sending on the background. Have the scope. Yes. Show only items in scope. So if we look at what the application is actually showing, I don't think I can make the text a little bit bigger on burp, unfortunately. View, no. Unfortunately, I cannot make the text a little bit bigger. it might look a little bit small on stream. So basically this webpage is quite simple. This ain't it. So we have here a set interval, so this function is called after 1 second, I think. And if the inner text is please give flag, it calls fetch, which is probably, from what I'm seeing here, is a JavaScript API to do a request, and it basically encodes the please give flag. So we can potentially do this request manually, or we can just change the text. So I'm just gonna change the text. I think it's easier. So if we use the inspect element and we put the magic keyword, here we go. So easy peasy. So this one, as usual, first challenges are very easy. Okay, so it was just a question of inspecting the source code for the web page, and then having a look at this JavaScript, seeing what needs to change. Interestingly enough, they are doing from shardcode. Oh, you don't receive interesting. So you don't receive the okay, maybe I'm hiding some things that I want to show. Interesting, here it doesn't have, oh, it's 304 not modified. Okay, that's because I probably, is it because I did the request? Anyways, cookies, yeah, probably because I did the request before. Okay, anyways, so that one is easy. Now, which, go to the next one. You remember when I said I dropped Clem's tables? Well, that was on Christmas Day, and because I ruined his Christmas, he created anti-Christmas warriors to try and ruin everybody else Christmas. Despite his best effort, Christmas still stands. But he did manage to get the flag and put it on his website. Can we get it? Okay, let's have a look. So we have a basic home post. Oh, there was something interesting there when it was loading. I thought I saw something interesting. Then there's the report. Add one their post and one of our helpful admins will come check it out. Okay, so this is to delete posts, and this is the admin. Okay. So we need some sort of cookie, I guess. Well, not I guess, from what they say here. Yeah, blah blah blah. So all you need is a secret cookie verifying that you are an admin. Okay, so let's have a look at why is it not logging the... Okay, let's change things here a little bit. Scope. Let's change the scope to everything here. Interestingly enough, let's see. It's not going very well. Okay, add to scope. What does it do? I use advanced scope control. Ah, they changed this. Interesting. So if I want to add regular expressions, I have to do this. Man. So let's just make sure the cache is disabled. Disable cache. And let's start clicking on stuff. And I don't know, need style sheets, not other images, flash, XML probably not as well, so I'm just gonna leave script and why isn't it showing anything else other than this? The back and forth has got me so messed up, don't ignore the signs we've had enough of the whole damn thing that we got going. You hold the strings. Okay, so let's have a look. Looks like it's behind some sort of caching, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Well, this is only the entry. Let's have a look at the post. What does it do? Actually, this doesn't seem to do anything because there's no custom JavaScript. This is jQuery. This is the popper library which is needed for jQuery, and this is Bootstrap. Oh no, you have a post. He actually does a post. Let's see what does the post do. So if we open and if we do okay. So it's not SQL injection, but we already know that because they say that we need, it's based on cookie. They say here that we need to get the secret cookie. So if I do 443 buzz. Okay, let's see what cookies we have been using. There's no cookies. Why does it only show the fav icon? Ah, okay, my bad. Actually, I want to exclude this one from scope. If I do remove from scope, yeah. Okay, so I'm not seeing here any cookies, interestingly enough. So it would be quite hard to understand which cookie it would be, unless it's something very easy. So let's just try that. Let's try something obvious. No, that didn't work. That didn't work either. Let me just also double check that I'm specifying cookies properly. Might be the case that I'm not specifying it. No, it is. So it's cookie, then the name and the value, and they are separated by a semicolon. No. Interesting. Let's try, see if this does anything. No. Let's have a look. Post test, and then the response. There's no whatsoever cookie. Okay, so I do need to provide an ID. What post was it? 444. Might this be a template injection of some sort? It might be some sort of template injection. Which software is this running? Express. Express.js, is that the name for it, I guess? Let's see. So how do we velocity, smarty, twig, jade, alfresco. Okay, let's look. Node.js. Do we have any examples? No, we don't. What a shame. No, this is something else as well. Node.js, server-side JavaScript injection. Okay, for sure this is not the case. Well, how many points are there? 50 points, so it shouldn't be such a thing. I haven't looked at the source code from the admin page properly, so let's just have a quick... No, there's nothing else. Okay. So how do I test for template injection? Let me check here some... So it would be something along these lines. What is the default template agent for Express.js? Formerly Jade. Okay, there are a bunch. Doesn't seem to be a default. So first off, confirm template injection. Okay, let's try that. Let's submit. See what comes out of it. No, that doesn't seem to be the case. At least not with this template engine. Let's have a look at how Burp submitted that request. Okay, just did that. Oh, we have here an API. Interesting. So post 445. Interesting. See on the repeater. See what happens. Not found. But it's clear that it's not doing, at least not with this template. So let's see other template engines that let's try the non-sandboxed version. Oh, this is for PHP mostly. Okay, which doesn't seem to be the case with this one. What is server caddy? It's built on Go. Okay. It's interesting because it's saying it's powered by Express, but then this web server is Cadian Nginx, which is a little bit weird, having yeah, it's Express.js. So what is true? Let's see if there's any other reference to Express. Node. No, it's only here. It's only the shade that they use. Okay, so we know that this isn't working. So what else can it be? And I already tested the small API. It's making sure that there are any. This looks legit. This also looks legit. Let's try something a little bit different. What is the other variation? Something like that, along those lines. See what comes out of the woodwork. I don't think anything will come out, but yeah. Interestingly enough, see how it behaves. Oh, I changed the wrong thing. Not found. Okay. If we do 444, not this one, sorry, this one. And then it should return 404 not found. Yeah. Have a look at the delete method, see what it does, or the report in this case. So it just sends the ID plus the reCAPTCHA value. Invalid reCAPTCHA. Okay, so that's actually working. So it's not what if we do 44 plus 1, which is the 445? No, it doesn't. So I don't think they put the captcha here for nothing. So I'm wondering. Sorry. Oh my word. Forgot to submit the captcha. No, this has to do with the cookie. The problem is there is no whatsoever indication of what the cookie is. There's never anything returned with the cookie. So how can we find out which cookie it is? And what format it would be? Let's have a look. I'm assuming it would be. So this is probably a plugin for Node for Express.js. This is not the right cookie. I already tried admin equals true. Secret cookie. And this style CSS doesn't have anything in there as well. So that doesn't help us. This is just a reCAPTCHA. Where's the verb? Secret underscore cookie. Admin, maybe? No. I think it needs to be a little bit smarter than this, I guess. How would you go about doing this? because they hate Christmas. Is there any other post that is still there? So post report cat, it's on the API, right? Send to sequencer. Not sequencer, sorry. I'm gonna send it to repeat to intruder. Yes, that's okay. Let's add a position here. And the payload's going to be number generator or something like that, numbers. And from 1 to, I don't know, 500, which is unlikely because they only have 445, so let's do 450. Yes, I know. Another thing you can do, well, we can clearly see what is going on, but I was just wondering, actually I didn't check 0. Let's check 0. No, it's also 404. Can you get it? Okay, so that won't help us, this thing won't help us at all. So we might as well just stop it. And they want the secret cookie. Any ideas where we can get this secret cookie? Because template injection didn't work, so I'm wondering where one would get the cookie. And there's no if the thing is that there is no cookies returned. So it isn't template injection. Okay, let's try some other things. If it isn't template injection, let's try other content injection techniques. I don't know. Let's try cross-site scripting, but I don't know how could you lever cross-site scripting to get a cookie unless it's your own cookie. Anyways, let's try to see if it works or not. No, it does work. It does have cross-site scripting. So it's URL encoded. And then when we get it, where's the API call? I'm gonna check what is the okay, so it returns it raw. But when we visit let's try that. But this won't work because it gets the cookie from the current user session, and our session doesn't have any cookies. And this didn't work either. So maybe script is being view page source. No, actually, sorry. Post content inner HTML. Let's have a look at what it created. Probably this is an anti-cross-site scripting from Google, maybe, or from Firefox. Or the inner HTML doesn't trigger afterwards, the JavaScript probably. So what if we do image source equals x, actually be a little bit more on error. Let's see if it works. Yep, that works. So let's just try that. So image let's try with something different. Let's try with just out of curiosity. See what happens. Because I do want it to air out, but I also want to see if it's doing anything else weird. Yeah, so as I said, the cookie would be empty and the image failed, but let's have a look. So it did do the request. I don't understand why it doesn't show me the API calls. Get posts text. Ah yeah, because I had okay, fair enough. There's no cookies on the response. Let's try to delete the 450. See what happens. Apparently nothing. Let me see. I'm thinking it's cross-site scripting, even though I'm not seeing how you could get the cookies that is not sent to your browser, but I'm thinking because it's cross-site scripting, because it's the only thing I found up until now that is vulnerability on this website. So ways of getting cookies in cross-site scripting. I think this is only disagree. Are you going to redirect me to okay? Okay, you just So this is creating a cookie. Interesting. So they just created a web page that has a cookie, which is fair enough. And then I use cookies to the JavaScript we'll use to pass cookies to a server where we can write them. Yeah, but this is just okay. I see. I see what might be happening. Okay, I understand why cross-site scripting would work in this case. Because they do say here one of the helpful admins will come and check it out. So we create a post with a cross-site scripting that sends the cookie to some location that we control. So basically something like it's being developed here, a cookie stealer. And then when the admin, and then we report the post, the admin goes and checks it. He or she clicks, deletes the post, whatever, but then the cookies will already been reported to our server. That's how cross-site scripting could work on this one. Now the question is, do they have this automated, or do they actually have a person deleting the the posts? Because if they do, it's unlikely that they have now, because the CTF is over. Also, I don't have any server right now that I can use for this. I will have to set up something quick and dirty. I can potentially use could potentially use GitHub. Okay. Anyways, so we have an approach. I have an approach for this one. It's clearly a cross-site scripting that the admin needs to validate, but I don't have anything exposed on the internet that I can currently use to receive the stolen cookies. So we put this on the shelf. I'll prepare some server on the cloud or something to where we can put our put the cross-site scripting payload, and then we test our assumption. I'm pretty sure that's the case, because it's the only thing we found on this one. So I'm gonna park this one for a little bit, and we'll get back to this one afterwards when I have something running on the internet or exposed to the internet. So I'm just gonna move on, and it's interesting because they even call it Xmas and all because of Christmas, but Xmas, with which kind of leads you to believe that cross-site scripting is indeed the solution, because cross-site scripting is XSS in the acronym for cross-site scripting. So let's try this one then, and then we'll focus on this one afterwards. I'll leave it here. So let's see this one. I'm feeling a bit down lately. Cheer me up. Pay me some money. I'll pay you some money. Okay. Not gonna pay you much more money, that's too much. I'm just gonna make this a little bit easier on me. So add paste URL. Let's say this is anything. Okay. Yes, you can do that for now. Let's see how it behaves. Okay, cool. So this seems to be only client side. Every time we click it calls this function, so let's see. Ooh, obfuscated JavaScript. Who doesn't like that? Okay, this is a challenge for obfuscated JavaScript, clearly. So if we look here, wow, that doesn't look easy on the eyes. So if we search for this, and we need to figure out where the flag is on this mess. What does it say? I've been feeling now, cheer me up. Okay. What a mess. Bad. I don't think we necessarily need to decode all of this and understand how this is. We probably just need to understand which function to call. Because if I remember, which function is the thing calling the HTML, no fret. So this is the function. What did I do wrong here now? Did I screw up? Probably. I think I even copied something. Yeah, I think I copied the headers. Yeah, that's not a good idea. So we are looking for the no fret, which would be this one. So there's bad. Interesting. I don't even know how this is functions, because it has the same name for every single function, but so we have this one, which is a different one. Does this function exist here? Let's see. Yeah, it does exist. But it does receive some argument. Decode URI component. Why would you be doing that? What are you looking for? Function. So this function is called when the page is loaded, when the document is ready, and it's funny because it's doing some regular expressions. Is this interesting? What does this do? Plus chain. Let me call some function test. That's this. It's only used here. What is this variable? Let's see. Oh, it's the regular expression. Would I be able to debug this thing? Clearly there's some encoding going around. Most likely base 64. So I think they are decoding these strings. So what we can do, let's have a look at what these strings actually are. Can I make this a little bit bigger? Yeah. 2020. Maybe we don't need to consolidation. Maybe we don't need to do anything more advanced than just decoding the base 64 encoded strings. Also, I don't know, okay, I already have a virtual environment. Python virtual environment, so let's just use that one. So let's call this A. And for B in A, is this going to be a problem? I hope not. At least the highlighter is having problems highlighting this nicely, but let's hope this is not a problem. Now, I do know Python allows you to easily decode by 64. We might not be lucky because this might be binary, that's why they are encoding it. We might also try some other JavaScript, the obfuscator, that supports this specific format of obfuscating. I just want to be sure that there's nothing obvious hiding in those base64 encoded strings. Come on. Base64. So let's see. Oh yeah, as I was expecting. It's not simple plain text. Okay, let's have a look here. If there's anything else that we see here. So the no fret console, it doesn't do some logging. Let's have a look at what the console picked up on this. Let's storage or whatever, and then switch to console. Console was cleared. Paused on debugger statement. So if I step in, what happens? Is this anti-debugging from the obfuscation? Interesting. Doesn't exist on the... Okay, let's just let it run. This is going to be annoying, isn't it? Okay, is there a way to Okay. Let's try again. Let's everything load. So if I call this, no, it doesn't. What's happening? No fret. Console. And then it does console clear, which console was cleared. do I... Okay, let's... Come on, because I'm curious to see why is this blocking Firefox. Hello, Firefox. Yeah, stop the script. Let's try. Should break here, but the debugger doesn't want to work. How nice. Can I do this? I don't want the console to be cleared. But the debugger is no longer working for some goddamn reason. Do we have any methods? No. Okay, so... Let's try something else then. Because you do... But what the hell are you logging, right? This is what I'm curious about. I want to know exactly what it is logging. So what I'm going to do is save page as, just the HTML, and save this link as well as something. Save. Let me just pause here for the OPSEC failure to see if I just didn't leak something right now. No, I didn't. Okay. It was a little bit further down. I was thinking I leaked my binary edge API key. Okay, cool. Let me change again the scene. So this is our HTML page. So I'm just gonna open it here in Firefox. Could you please open it? Yeah. See if it works. Yeah, it still works. So effectively what I want to do is put this prettier version of the code did this work anything? No, I don't think this method worked. So let's just make like this. Copy. Let's put it like this here. Let's come here and call it test.js, and let's remove this call. And now let's see, refresh. Okay. Okay, this didn't work. Maybe because the decoding of the function is not working very well. No, wait. None. Okay, I think I screwed up the... Okay. Because I just want to see exactly what is being logged, and if there's nothing interesting, then we try another avenue. Now it's gonna complain about the debugger. So let's open again. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, it still works. So let's search for the console. Comment it out. Let's try refresh. Also, let's make sure that indeed this is the latest version of the file, and it is. Done. Yep. So cool. So the solution was actually just stopping the console from being cleared. If the attacker is always trying to hide something from you, then it's a pretty good indication that there's something there for you to have a look at. So that's done. So we don't actually need to decode this mess, which is actually, I'm curious to see if any of these methods, JS Obfuscator, I don't think so. Anyways, so that one is done. Let's go for the next one. Okay. Hello world. So they are giving you the hint that it should be cannot get. So let's have a look at what this means. Git config. Oh yes. Oh yes. So basically they have published, let me just write the solution for this one. We need to comment out console clear. Okay, so that's done. So, really? Okay, so usually when there is, you never publish .git or Git directory to a web server, because then that means that any configuration files in there can be downloaded. Also, you can actually clone the repository and get all the source code. So I'm going to have a look at the .git configuration file. There's nothing there interesting, but what we're gonna do is search the internet for because I don't remember the name of the tool, because there are tools for doing this. Clone repository exposed on web server. Let's search for Git. Downloading the easy way directory listing, which doesn't exist. No, is it as good as easy as that? Let's see if we recursively download the repository. See what comes out of it. It doesn't work. It gives you the 404 not found or something, or cannot get. So it has to be a little bit more evolved than that. Where was I? The hard way. But I'm pretty sure there's a tool that does this automatically for us. Tools. So, and one to download and one to extract. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, it's even in Python and everything. So how would we use this? Thanks for the follow. I think I'm gonna butcher your name. Akivas Schley? Thanks for the follow anyway, sorry for not being able to pronounce your name right. So I want the dumper. Okay. So let's change. So they have the dumper. Okay. I didn't actually. I'm just double checking, there's nothing weird here. I don't think they would do anything. Yeah, they are just using curl and whatnot. I'm not seeing anything weird here. Let's look at the usage. So we provide a directory or a website with the address for that, and then the resulting directory. Okay, some of them are not, probably it's okay. Okay, it downloaded, and now the extractor. Okay, let's try that. So we go to the extractor folder, and we have to specify SA. Okay, it looks like it was able to recover a bunch of files, so let's just have a look at what those files contain. Just making this a little bit bigger, so there was 2 commits. I highlight this is the actual initial commit. Seriously, guys. And one is the one initial commit. No, so it's probably 0. Let's have a look at, this is the flag. So as they say, be careful what you serve with. So let's have a look at number 1. There used to be a flag here. Okay. So if we come here, so this is to teach you that you should never, and it's not only Git, Mercurial, whatever SVN, whatever source code repository you use, or source code versioning you use, never expose the metadata on the web server. Because as you could see, on this challenge, it's quite easy to download enough metadata for you to rebuild the source code of the web application. So yeah, lesson identified on that. So this one is quite obvious what it is. So it's exposed, right. Repository, flag can be recovered. So let's try let's focus on the next challenge. Secret agents. Can you enter the secret agent portal? I have heard one has a flag, and this probably is the eyes smiley, or inside leaked the source, but was terminated shortly thereafter. Okay, so we have this, and we have the source code to some web application. Let's have a look. What is web application? Probably it's easier to see it in Visual Studio. The highlight from Visual Studio is a little bit better than so it's a Flask application which has from secret, which we don't have access to. We have host, username, password, and DB name. They have templates. They have a login. So this looks like an SQL injection. What's the so he's user agent, so he's getting the user agent from the request, he's searching on the database from agents, on the database on the table agents where the user agent equals this specific thing. So if it returns nothing, then we are not allowed. If it returns more than one user agent, then close but no banana. Otherwise, it does return from the first row on the table, or from the first row returned by the query, by this query. This is an SQL injection, I think, because this is a format. I'm pretty sure this might be an SQL injection on the user agent. It is using MySQL. Because otherwise we can just brute force the user agent, but it might be something. So I think the best choice, or the best approach, is to go for SQL injection. So let's have a look. So of course you're not allowed in here. So let's have a look at the request. Let's see what we can do. So using the user agent, so if we add something like a single quote, yeah, so you can see here the server encountered an internal error. What if we do this? Cursor execute where? Okay, so this isn't working. Let's try something like this. Stop, you're not allowed. So if I do like this, I can go the lazy way and use SQL map, but first I wanted to understand what type of SQL injection we are looking at. This cursor comes from where? Comes from MySQL. What happens if I do this in Python? So here is not defined. What if we define it as something like this? Okay. It does do inject. So if I do something like and 1 equals 1, one limit 1, I think. This should result in something like from agents, where is something. I actually should say or 1 equals 1, which is always true, and then limit to 1. Just double check. MySQL limit, because we only want one result, because if we look at the source code, it basically says if you return more than one result, then they say, hey, close but no banana. So we want to return exactly one result, and MySQL has a syntax to limit the queries to only return a certain amount of results. It's for pagination, to do pages. And I just want to double check which one it is. What is the syntax? So I would say offset. The offset of the first row is 0, not 1. Okay, cool. So it's 0. So it would be 0, 1. So it's the first row only. So let's try that. Where's the verb? No, there's still something missing. Okay, let's try double check. Also, what I can do instead of commenting it is actually, instead of trying to comment the rest of the query, let's just try this. Or 1 equals 1, or yeah, but there's, I don't know which column. Oh, do I know any column names? No, I don't know any column names. Let's see then, MySQL injection. Let's see. So M is for MySQL, right? Yeah. So we cannot use this, or we can use that. So let's say we do use this. Yep, so we are close. We can return more than, so let's do limit 0, 1. So it's welcome GRU. So if we use this as the user agent, funny they called it GRU. Ah, it doesn't say. Okay. I was expecting it to print a flag, but it didn't. It only printed the user or the agent name. So how can I get it? so what if I do, I don't care about this, I want this, the first query to fail, but then I do union all select UA from agents, limit 0, 1. Let's see. Let me check here something, because it's doing where something, so I do this and this returns nothing, but then I'm multi equals true, and then I'm doing union all select UA from agents. So basically what I'm trying to do is get the UA column for the GRU user. But it's failing. Let me have a look here. And that's exactly it. Union all select from something. Let's try. So what if we do union 1? Wrong key. No. Oh, because the columns might be different? Maybe. 1, 2, 3. 3, maybe? Okay, let's try with the order by. Let's use the order by technique to try and find how many columns there are. Yep. So let's have it. Order by. Okay. So it has two columns clearly, because when we do order by tree it crashes, so it has two columns. So what we can do is union all select UA, and then we don't really care about the other value from agents. Okay, too many agents being returned, so let's limit to 1. So the user agent is a. So if we do for A's, how is that possible? So if I do 1, welcome 1. So if I select UA is okay, and if I do 1, 1, Shrek V, let's see the other one. Okay. And what about I send this to intruder? Okie dokie. Let's say add a position here, and the payload is once again numbers. and we want starting from 1 and going to, I don't know, let's say 15. And let's start. Yes. Actually, one of the things I'm gonna do as well here, just to show you, is that we can have payload processing. So if we look here at the request, we know that it's welcome and then something. So we can actually do in our intruder, we can add is it here or is it somewhere else? Wait, I don't remember now. Oh, it's here. It's in the grep extract. Extract the following items from the expression. So we want basically start after welcome something, and then the end delimiter is this. So if we do this, let me see. Okay, that looks good. And now when we start our attack, you can see here it automatically puts on, so we don't have to go through each single request to get it. So clearly it's only 10 user agents. Interesting results though. So how would it let's look at the source code again, and it renders the template as welcome. And actually if we look at the response, sorry, for our login, it's here. So it doesn't actually respond with the, it doesn't really matter, the user agent doesn't really matter, because if even if we provide the right user agent, it won't print out the flag. So the flag must be on the actual database instead of the login HTML, now that I think of it. Because even if I do Shrek V, it does say stop, you're not allowed in here, even though it should only return one result. And anyways, it says here nice try, but this is harder. So I think what we need is to actually get all the tables that exist on this database because this only has 2 columns. Oh, okay. It's actually on the name. Okay, let's change our it might be this one, but it might not be this one. So let's change our payload in the intruder, and instead of returning the user agent, return the name. This doesn't really matter. This really doesn't matter. So let's, okay. Here it is. So it's the only ACTF. So let's just try that one before we go full. Let's enumerate all the database tables and whatnot. Nice. It is this one. Cool. Oh, nice SQL injection challenge. It also shows you that SQL injection is not limited to parameters on query or post requests. You also have to look at sometimes you also have to look at the headers. It also allows you to learn the basics of SQL injection, like understanding the number of columns that you have. Also how to limit your queries, the results of your queries, and how to properly terminate SQL without it having errors. So that's quite cool. So let's go on to the next challenge. Up until now, the challenge that I liked the most, I think, was the consolation one. Well, no, consolation one was just the clear. Anyways, let's see. Let's see this one. So, before I forget. So this challenge can be solved by using SQL injection on the user-agent HTTP header, and where was it? And I'm just gonna save the request that solved these. Actually, yes, it was the name, right? And this doesn't matter. So like this, it should work. So I don't really care about this. And it should return the flag, yes. Okay, so next challenge. 1 year since Defund's descent, 1 crypt, 1 void to fill, clam must do it, and so must you. Okay. Okay. What are they trying to choose? An image? Okay. What does this do? You must leave behind a memory, lest you be forgotten forever. Let's see what this is doing on the background. So if we do the crypt, where is that image coming from? Crypt.jpg. Leave a memoir, and it's a file upload on input. Image file. What is the language? Okay, we don't know. It's just the caddy and the nginx. And we don't have a clue. Let's see if there's a... Does this return random images? Come on. No, it always seems to return the same image. So this must be related with some sort of file upload vulnerability, I guess. Where's copy URL? So what if we call it flag.txt? Not found. Okay, let's try the upload functionality. Let me just get some random image from the internet. I don't know. Let's say Crypt. This looks like a good... I want something small, so it doesn't take much. Oh, God damn it. Press the wrong button straight away. Yeah, this looks good. Save image as... just go there. Oh man, for real? Okay, let's do it differently. That's a good advice. I never seen this, but this is actually good advice. But I'm not doing this for that. I'm doing the... where is it? Network. Can I close the console? I think I can. Yeah. And I just want images. Response. Oh, this is perfect. This is just perfect, this image. Save image as. This. Let's create a folder to store the investigation results or solution. Okay, let's now try to upload something. Okay, that's the only thing he did. He didn't send anything to the server, did it? It does have a post. But I don't think it sent anything. Oh, you have to click the send. The name of your memory doesn't seem to match its content. Okay, so only when you do the descend. Okay, fair enough. It's only when you do the descend that you actually do something. Oh, actually, I didn't had noticed this comment, but at least I didn't know. I only noticed it now. I didn't notice when I tried flag.txt. I didn't. To be honest, I totally missed. It's the first time that I'm looking at this. So let's have a look at source. I'm pretty sure this is some sort of course, it's the only functionality that we have is to upload images. And this is clearly PHP, so I'm thinking that you can upload some sort of PHP shell or something along those lines. Let's have a look at the source code. Let's actually... How do I save this thing? Save page as Defund Crypt. And now let's go to Visual Studio Code and have a look. Okay. So this is the main page. You can see here the source code. So if the request method is post, it does this, otherwise it just prints out the form, or it also prints out the form. So, okay. We already got this error, that's when we submitted the form without any image to be uploaded. It doesn't allow an image to be bigger than 10 megabytes apparently. It only allows... Interesting, it says if the file, image file temp name, JPEG, true, where is this taken from? Need to check this. This is coming from somewhere. So it gets the base name. This is interesting because this is the error that we have gotten here. Let's go back. The name of your memory doesn't seem to match its content. Interesting. I have to check what this actually does, because it does an array search for this, but the file format, what is the file format for the image that I submitted? Oh, okay, that kind of explains it, why it's failing on the... Okay, let's now upload this. Okay, so it does print something, and it uploads it with a random file name into the memoirs directory. Okay, so it was me being a little bit thick and submitting the file without a file extension, which is what this is doing, is just checking for the right file extension. So it generates the SHA-1 from the file and then move the file from the temporary location to the memoirs. and then it does the redirect. And it does say on the comment that we cannot access the flag.txt, so it doesn't really matter where we test it. But it does check. I'm not 100% sure if this only checks for the file extension, or if he also does some sort of MIME type check. So let's have a look. Array. So it does an array search, the extension, file. Okay, let's have a look at the array search function from PHP. So search the array for a given value and returns the first corresponding key if successful. And the strict, if the third parameter strict is set to true, then the array search function will search for identical elements. This means it will also perform strict comparison of the needle in the haystack. So we provide the needle, which is basically this, and then we search on the haystack, which is this array. So what does the file info, what is this? Let's search for this. Is a class that returns a file. This class provides an object-oriented interface into the file info functions. And we know that we are calling from this class, we are calling the file function. And the file function is an alias to yes, okay. And this function returns information about the file. Returns a textual representation of the contents of the file name argument, or false if an error occurred. So if I upload something that is a PHP, it should break, it shouldn't work. So let's just let's see if I remember how to write PHP. Like this, I think. Let's see. PHP print or something. Print is like that, and the echo. I hate when Google does that. Okay, you don't have parentheses. Echo doesn't have parentheses. Okay. So this will for sure fail. Your memory isn't picturesque enough to be remembered. So if we look at the source code, is this error here. File info mine type. Oh, it's doing the check for the mine type. Okay, so we cannot upload the PHP. Okay, I see what they are doing now, I understand. Even if we manipulate the extension in a way, it should fail. Even if we, for example, do this, should fail. I'm pretty sure that they don't want you to get remote code execution. The flaw must be something else. So it must be something related with the name that we are providing. And we know that the file name is flag.txt. So how can we get this one? Let me just double check the difficulty of this one. 120 points. Okay. So what can we manipulate on this request? We definitely cannot upload PHP into it, so that's out of the question. That is done here. So the trick must be here somewhere. So, and it does double check the file extension as well, so that's no good. So it does a SHA-1 from the file content, and then it gets the substring of the B name, the base name, and then he's moving a file from the temp name, which is generated by PHP, I'm pretty sure. We can control that. To the memoirs with that specifically F name, and then it does a redirect. And this percentage. So let's see what we can actually manipulate on this. Let's have a look. So we did this one, right? Okay, let's upload again one. That worked. Let's send to repeater. So what I think we can manipulate on this request is exactly this. So what happens if I do this? It didn't work. And if I did this? Oh no, it did work. It did work, it is here. So we can somewhat manipulate this. What can we achieve with this? Because we have here the temp name, and this temp name we cannot control. This is PHP file upload, image file. Thanks for the follow, the Cyber Mentee. Because I'm thinking, what if, as they say here on the comment, it says that look at the source code, which is what we are doing, and the flag is at flag.txt, but too bad you can't read it. So I'm thinking, how can we leverage this functionality here to move that flag.txt to somewhere that we can read it? Because it seems obvious that the flag would be below this directory. So this source PHP is in this directory here. So this is what is being served right now. And then you have the memories, and this is relative path. So it's relative to the location of the executing source, executing PHP file. And they say that the flag that the flag is at this location. So it's in the same location, which potentially is, with a very, or at least with a very high likelihood, it is in the same position as the index.php file, which is the one that is being executed here, at least when you load this web page. So I'm thinking how I can manipulate the file name in order to move the flag.txt file into the memoirs directory, which we do potentially have access to, especially if the flag.txt name is different. If the file name which contains the flag has a different name. So let's have a Google search on this one. I'm pretty sure we can't manipulate. I think it's a random file name. Let's look at tmp name. So this isn't tainted, so you can clearly see, okay, so we cannot do anything about this one. Interesting, very, very interesting. So we can't control the source file that it's moving, but we can somewhat control the destination. But we don't want to override the txt file. We want to get the txt file, the flag.txt. Base name. But the base name is only used. Base name is only used to get basically to get the file extension, but as we've seen here, where's Bart? We can actually control so if we do this, what happens if we do this? Let's see, let's have a look at that source code again. Substring, find the position of the first occurrence of a substring in a string. So we cannot have dot dot dot. That won't work. If I do this, what happens? No, it screws up. And this works. But if I add something like this, it breaks. It breaks. So it doesn't actually work that well. I was just checking for how long I've been streaming, and it's already 2 hours and a half. I'll still push on for another half an hour, and then I'll if I didn't solve this one, I'll save it for a next stream. So okay. How can we get it's weird. What if I add one more dot? It does allow you to have it. But that breaks. That totally breaks it. That also breaks. In any case, this is only the redirect. What we are interested in, or what I am interested in, is trying to manipulate this thing here. Now the question is how I go about doing it, because I don't have control of this. So it seems like I can only do some sort of overriding, but that's... What is the flaw in this thing? Ah, come on, I don't think they did that. Did they? No, because we already tried. Because it fails the mime type. Okay, let's search for something. PHP shell bypass mime type. Interesting. But I don't think this is the case. So you can see here it's actually quite similar, the functionality that they are using. Would that be the case? I don't think so. Or it might be actually. Because if we look at the source code, it's not exactly the same thing. I still have serious doubts that they want us to have remote code execution on this challenge. It's too dangerous for them. But it's worth a try. Let's have a look. So this fails, of course. Let's go to the proxy. And this is exactly what we want to say. Yeah. Let's just send it. Your memory isn't picturesque enough to be remembered, which basically matches this check, the MIME type. And if we look at it, the content type is already image JPEG. What if what I'm going to do, how easy it is to bypass terminal, new terminal, yes. 2020 web Defund. So if we do head, just a few first bytes of an actual JPEG. So the first few bytes, 10, 12. So it would be, yeah, it would be 10. Cut test.php to test.jpg. Let's see. So basically what I'm trying to do is provide something that is good enough for the MIME type to be JPEG, but then having the actual shell or the actual code execution afterwards. See what this results in. I seriously doubt, but let's try it. So it does work. The file upload happened, and we do respond with something that is not correct. So let's just send this to the repeater. This of course will work. So what I want now is to try and force this to execute as PHP in some manner. Okay, it did keep the PHP extension. See if this works. I seriously doubt. But no, yeah, this didn't work, did it? Oh my god, it actually did. Nice. So it actually executed the oops. So if we look at our actual file, this is the content of the file that we uploaded. So it has the PHP instructions to echo, to print out oops. But then when we request the file that we uploaded, it actually only prints the oops. So what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna write. Now I'm curious. I actually want to write a shell for this, but most likely the functions are all blocked. I do have, and let me search here. Let me search here on my. Where do I have my old source code? Sorry, I'm doing this because I don't want to show anything that I shouldn't. That's why I'm doing off stream, but I don't have it here anymore. I used to have a small PHP shell that was very versatile because it tested every single whatsoever method existing in existence to do remote code execution. So most of the times what I found is that there was always at least one function that wasn't completely blocked, and I could always get something running. But I don't have it here anymore. I don't see it here. At least not on this. I might have it on my backups, but that is too much to do right now. So what I'm gonna do only is PHP get file contents. Let's see how it works. So we can just do, no? Can I also, yes. Search within the include path. What is the true? I don't think it really matters. So let's change our, first let's move, what was the name? Test PHP JPEG to test.php. Let's add it here and let's change, instead of this, let's say we want the file contents for flag.txt. Let's generate again our small payload. And let's come here, go back and upload our vector. It failed, but if we go on to burp, oh, it didn't work this time. So why did it work here but didn't work here. Ah, I know why. Because I didn't change the file extension. I need to change the file extension. What am I doing? I need to change the file extension to PHP. So it actually executes the thing. Okay, didn't print anything, which is weird. Let's double check. It didn't print anything. So is it because the file is actually on the current directory? I think I can actually... What I can actually do is just like this and do this, and let's see, where's the web browser? Let's upload, so I don't have to then go and change the file name, file extension. Yeah, it also didn't work. It didn't print anything. So let's say PHP list files. Perhaps. Actually, it was also one of the first results, scan dir. Files. What is the first sorting order? I don't really care about sorting order. So let's do a print R. Let's try that. Echo. See if that works. Print R. I should potentially check, just actually check that I don't have any access to shell functions like shell underscore execute, p open, and all these sort of things. But let's try first this one. Scan dir. Right? I think so. Let's see. Okay, cool. So we do have some directories here, some files here. Most of them look... oh, we do have a .git keep. Out of curiosity. I'm pretty sure they blocked this, right? Yeah, okay, cool. But but they do have a .git keep, which is interesting. Okay, so clearly these are our attempts. So these are the files that are there. Let me see if this looks a little bit better here. Yeah, it does look a little bit better here. So these are the files. These are clearly our attempt. And it's called flag. Is it called flag, or this was my attempt at uploading something? I don't think so. It's called flag and not flag.txt. Might it be the case? Let's try. So let's have this, and let's change it a little bit. Let's say echo this, but also echo from the parent directory, but also echo, is it file contents? File get contents from flag. Okay. So let's see if this is the case. So let's have a look. This looks good. Let's upload again. Okay, I don't think I was that lucky with the flag.txt or the flag nothing. So flag is 1, which I seriously doubt that's the right flag. Also, there's no flag.txt here. And this one seems to be related with something else, because it's not, the flag is not 1. Might it be that the file contents thing is blocked? What if I do PHP info? Let's comment this. Let's do so let's not execute that, let's execute PHP info. See what we are dealing in terms of environment. And let's make this a one-liner so I don't have to be repeating the command so much. Let's then, yes, let's go back. Okay, cool. So let's look at the configuration. Let's look for functions. So disabled functions. Let's zoom in a little bit. So the file contents, get file contents is not blocked. Neither is any of the functions that allow us to execute shell commands. And this doesn't have any hardening, I think. Yes, it's also not running any hardening. And this is the main directory, var / www. So let's PHP execute commands shell exec. So it's called shell exec. Where's this? No, I want Visual Code. So we no longer need PHP info. We need print, and we need the get, and we want, for instance, cmd. Okay, this is a basic PHP shell. I find it weird that they actually want us to have remote code execution. I'm pretty sure this must be running on some container or something. So if I provide cmd equals yes, okay. So here you can see. I'm gonna switch to burp because it's probably easier to see the results here. Yes, indeed. So let's try to cut, do a ls-l to see permissions. Bad request, why? It's because it's not encoded. Yes, it's because it's not encoded. So the flag is... we are supposed to be able to access the flag. View page source. So this is what we get. So we are supposed to be able to read the flag. I don't know why the function, the PHP function didn't work. Oh, but the flag is empty. It didn't print anything. Even though it does have a size. Oh, this is really weird. So let's try to cut another file. Let's try to cut this actual file. Yeah, this works. So why doesn't it work with the flag? Even though it's read for the www data. Ah, okay, interesting. What file format is flag? Oh, it's a directory. Okay, yeah, obviously it's here. It's a directory. That's why it wasn't working. So let's list all the files in the flag directory. And yeah, indeed. So, okay. It's a directory, it's not the actual file. I'm pretty sure they are rickrolling us. I'm pretty sure this is the rickroll. YouTube, and then this. Yes, this is the rickroll. I just been rickrolled. Nice. Oh man. Okay, we are close to reaching 10 minutes for me to close the stream. Okay, so yeah, this is the rickroll. So it's not... So let's have a look at in the A directory. What do we have in the A directory? 0 files. Okay, fair enough. Just double check. Yeah, 0 files there. The flag is also doesn't have any other files, does it? I think it only had the flag txt, which was then the rickroll thing. Yeah, which was the rickroll thing. Okay, let's look at the previous directories. Let's look at index.php. See if the source code is not different from what we were looking at. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case. So let's look at the root directory. And okay, so here it is in the root directory. I thought when they said on the... okay, let's go back. When they said here... too much. When they... once again, thank you. When they said here, in the file system at /flag, I thought it was the actual URL, but it's the actual file system at, so I misread that. So anyways, what we can just do is cat flag txt, and here it is, the flag. Okay, so I got clearly rickrolled because I didn't read things properly. But yeah. Nice. So cool. It's nice that we finished in a good note and with 5 challenges down. Of course, this doesn't really count much. This one, to prove my idea of what this is and how it can be solved, I need to set up a server on the internet. Because the thing is, the only vulnerability that I found on this web application was cross-site scripting here. And they say on the report page that if we want some post to be deleted or reported, we need to submit it here. And then one of the helpful admins will come and check it out. So, and that's why they have a CAPTCHA as well, because I'm thinking there is a human person that will check submissions and will trigger the cross-site scripting that will send the admin cookie to you. So for that to happen, I have to have either way, I have to have something running on the internet that I can check the logs for receiving those cookies. So I need to craft some, I don't know, some cross-site scripting payload like image source equals HTTPS, for example. The problem with my website is that it's running on GitHub pages, so I cannot actually have access to any logs. But in any case, so it would be something like this, blah or whatever, and then it would have something like plus document.cookie or something. No, that would actually not work. What would work is non-existing and that then on error. I think I can potentially request something with the cookie. I could put, I don't know, do a fetch. This I need to test as well, probably. Fetch some actual existing resource where like something cookie receiver or something, where then I add the cookies document.cookie, something along these lines. But once again, I need something running on the internet to receive the cookie, so I'll sort out that first before I dive again into this challenge. I can just run it on my on OVH or something like that, or Amazon or whatever. Just spin an instance. Yeah, and then that should, and then once someone actually does check it, if this process of reporting isn't manual or isn't automated, I mean, someone actually needs to check it, and that's why they probably have the CAPTCHA, because they don't want to be receiving non-human submissions to this form. So yeah, cool. I'm pretty sure that's the solution, that's the case, but nothing like testing and actually getting the flag. So thanks everyone that came, thanks everyone that followed, and I will talk to you soon, most likely because I'm gonna continue to follow up on these web challenges. Once again, thank you very much. Cheers, enjoy, have a nice evening. Bye bye.